Okay, we're on our drive back from Marble Falls. Nice little hot summer walk. And it is a warm day, and I wish we would have been ready for some swimming. Last week was really fun. I don't remember if I talked about it, but we showed up at the pool, and then some kids started talking to us, probably like around 9 or 10 or 11 years old, a boy and girl, and I don't know, they were just really cute, and the mom was there, and yeah, it was funny because they kept wanting to play truth or dare, but if we said truth, they go, oh man, and so then we go, okay, dare, and then they dare. Usually they dare us to put our hand under their foot and then flip them up in the air, and so they land in the water, and I don't know. It was pretty cool. They were cute kids, and yeah. So moving forward from that, so anyway, we're on our way back from a lot's going on. I just hired Corey, who hopefully by the time Future Forest watches this, is like, oh, Corey, because hopefully Corey will have become such a big part of the gym by then. But anyway, Corey is a guy that I've been working with for the last 2 weeks. He lives in Chicago. We were running ads, and yeah, I've hired him. He is a pretty fascinating guy. So I'm excited. I hope things go really well. So I hired him today to help me with the gym full time. He will be our first full-time 40-hour-a-week employee. And he'll be helping with all parts of business. He is quite a phenomenal teacher, and I've been meeting with him at 7 a.m. every morning, and he's usually on the call early, or he's always been on the call early, so he seems very responsible, so I'm pretty happy about that. Let's see, lots of thoughts today, but I want to get a couple. So there was a thought I had come up with the other day when I was actually recording last time, and I was hoping it would come out while I was talking, and I couldn't remember it. But it's just a mental model that I like to use in talking about hybrid. One of the things I like about doing these videos is it keeps my brain coming up with things to talk about. So one of them, so when I was in Scouts, we had this thing where we would go on a camp out trip for a week with a bunch of other troops, and we'd always put on the sketch comedy thing at the end of the week, but of course none of us were very creative, so we always used the same one. There was almost like there was a book of skits, and we would just pick one to do as a troop. And there was one that people would do where there's a guy that's walking around a lamppost looking down at the ground, and so somebody comes over and like, hey, what are you doing? What are you looking for? What'd you drop? And they'd say, oh, I dropped my pocket knife or whatever it was. And so then that kid would start walking around looking through the grass for it. And then another kid would come up and, hey, what are you guys looking for? Oh, he dropped his pocket knife or whatever. And anyway, this would continue until pretty soon, like the entire troop, except for one person, was looking for it. And then that person would come up and they go, hey, what are you guys looking for? And they say, and they go, where'd you lose it? And the guy would point like across the way, and they go, well, why are you looking here? And he'd go, well, this is where light is. And that would be the punchline. And it's funny because in some ways it reflects a lot of what we're learning about nutrition, is that we all kind of know that quick fixes don't last, especially the more diets you do, the more you realize quick fixes they don't work. But that's where all the light is. That's where everybody shines the light on, is, join this challenge, join this quick fix, join keto. That's all you need. And so even though we all know, and we become more and more convinced of it every time we go through one, that those things just don't work, all the light is being shown on quick fixes and vitamin pills and diet pills and one thing and the other. And so we never, there's no dark, it's all darkness where the answers are, so we never get the answers. And so yeah, that was a good analogy, I thought. And another one that came to me today was Sarah was talking about how when you start, like, there's this feeling of having like magic foods. Like, I just need to eat the right foods, the magic healthy foods, and I'll lose weight. But there's always kind of this disappointment of like, or trying whatever diet strategies. There's this feeling almost of like it doesn't make sense. Like, you haven't figured out the trick to it. It made me think of like a magician. And now a magician, you know that the magic's not real, but yet it feels like, until you know the trick, it makes no sense how the person does whatever the trick is. But once you see the trick, then you can't unsee it. Every time the person does that trick, you see it from a mile away. And that's sort of what tracking does, is it erases the magic. And magic is wonderful when it's a magic show, but when the magic is, you don't know how to stay thin, because everything you try just feels magic. It feels like being thin is magic, and you can't figure out the trick. Then it's not wonderful. And so the idea of tracking and doing the same thing every day and starting to see the patterns, as you recognize the patterns, it takes away the magic trick, and you start to see exactly what's happening in every situation. So that's the importance of tracking, and we're actually looking at that in our own business because we've been tracking a lot. Which brings us to the business. One of the big ahas is today we found out we might have to pay some plumber anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 to fix the opposite side of the duplex, and it got me thinking a lot about how I value money versus time. And in fact, I even put down a little mantra on Facebook so I'd remember it, even though, fingers crossed, it pops up a year from now, and that's how I remember it. But it's time or money, you're always spending something. And the thought was, how many times have I had, so we haven't had a tenant on the other side since Taylor moved out at the beginning of the year. And yet that has not been as emotionally impactful as the thought of handing somebody actual physical money to fix that side. One is we've lost money because of time that we have not been getting paid on. And we've lost about the equivalent in plumber fees, but that is actual physical money. And it's interesting how Sarah and I, it's like we've been taught to value time, to value money over time. And so, sometimes basically it made me realize I need to be more willing to invest money in order to overcome time. So we were paying a lot of money for a company, Gym Launch, and when I stopped, one positive of Gym Launch was the amount of money that I was spending on every week forced me to constantly try to implement what they were teaching. And when I stopped paying them, I also started getting a little relaxed. And even though I thought I was saving money, the reality is if the gym would be more profitable now from the pressure that I would have felt and kept working on the gym, then every month that goes by, that's how much it's costing me. Whatever that profit would have been, that's how much it's costing me. And so I signed up for a nutrition program called Precision Nutrition. It's something I've been aware of for a long time, but it was $1,000, and actually that's just the beginning. To get the full thing, which I will invest in, it's going to be just for me, and Sarah will probably do it too, but just for me it's going to be closer to like $3,500 to $4,000, I think. And yet I look at how far I would have come if I'd have signed up for this years ago. How far would my business be? And it's that whole thing of do I want to run a business where I'm not willing to invest money, and so I can only, money buys time, and so I could get 10 years ahead if I'm going to put in a little more money. Of course there's a balancing act. If you don't have the money, you don't have it. But I'm at the 10-minute mark, so I will end this right